Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope that wherever or whenever you are, everything is going smoothly and according to the plan of your higher self. I don't know what happened. I had this morning seen, I had seen this list from somebody whose name I'm not going to name now, but he had a comprehensive list of Ascension symptoms going on, and it was from his higher self that he decided to tell everybody about, and it was a remarkable list, and I thought, yeah, I actually relate to 8 out of the 12 or 5 out of the 9, I don't know, can't even remember how many it was now, but I just spent an hour looking for this. I had it all queued up, and when I went to click YouTube, the page went blank and it's gone. I went to his page, and I guess postings that people post aren't on the page somehow, and it's just videos. And I scrolled up and down, on my subscriptions, on my homepage, nothing. It's just gone. And I literally had said, I'm going to mention you, your channel, and this list on the air tonight on my show. And now I'm like, I don't know, did I hop a timeline? Did I dream it that he was so comprehensive and he's not? Did he, in a fit of petty jealousness, it doesn't seem to be like him at all, but was he petty? Did he just delete the list really quick before I could get to it? Or did YouTube take it down? I mean, I don't know. Did YouTube screw with everybody and take it down? I mean, anyway, it was weird. Why? Where did it go? Anyway, something other really strange happened to me very early this morning. I woke up, I don't know, maybe around 9:30, which is very unlike me. I just had to run to the bathroom. And I had too much jasmine tea last night. I sat up really fast, and there was a being in my room, and he said he was Arcturian, and he was just checking in on me. And I started to kind of breathe in a little deeper, I don't know what happened. If I had a dream, I don't know what happened. And the Arcturian touched my forehead, and it felt like somebody was in the room with me touching my forehead. He touched my left temple, and he said, "Are you okay?" I mean, not out loud. I heard it in my mind, telepathy. And he said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just woke up really suddenly, and I sat up really fast in bed, and I went to the side of my bed, really in one swift motion. And I guess he had been in the room, and it startled him. And so he touched me, and I actually felt the touch. And he said he was worried about me because I guess people don't normally do that or something. It's like when I move fast, I move super fast sometimes, and it freaked him out, I guess. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I did that, and I don't know why he was in my room. But I kind of felt like he was like a grandparent. This is the energy I got. It's like my grandma or grandpa was in the room to come and check on me as if I had been sick and had a fever. You know how, I don't know if this ever happened to you or if you've seen this in movies where, you know, the concerned older folk are gathering around the bed of the child and putting a hand on their forehead. It was that kind of an energy. Like, he'd been super concerned about me. He'd been very worried and concerned. But also very familiar. Like, he knew me very well. And I think I might be from Arcturus, or that I actually had a life there. I know that my soul, I am a mystical traveler, which there's a whole book that Sylvia Brown wrote about this, where a long time ago you decided to tell God, just send me where I'm needed and I'll just help out where I'm needed. And you go from planet to planet, basically. And you have like one major home planet. Like for me, mine, I think, is Earth. But I've lived in the Orion galaxy and with Arcturians or Arcturians. And I don't know. I mean, I've been contacted, I think, by the Sirians, definitely the Lyrans, different beings throughout the Orions and also the Andromedans. So, do they know me? I don't know. But it was very strange. I don't even know why I got up like I did. Normally, I'm not as quick to run to get to the side of the bed really quick like that. I had to sit up immediately, put my feet on the floor and I was breathing kind of heavy. I don't know what happened. If I had a dream or an insight or I got freaked out or I felt him in the room, was it PTSD? I don't even know. If it was PTSD, I don't know. But here, this being was in my room. He was very tall and very blue, dark, dark blue. And he touched my forehead and he physically touched me, but I could see no one, but I knew he was there. So strange when this stuff happens, I have been noticing a dark cobalt blue energy in the sky. And all the clouds, the clouds are supposed to be normally gray, are still very, very dark cobalt blue. When you really look at it and you take a deep breath and you connect to your heart and your higher vision, you'll start to notice it too. Things that were normally just a gray are now like a cobalt blue. And I thought that was interesting. And I was going through some videos since yesterday, and a couple people mentioned the cobalt blue energy is hitting the planet. Somebody mentioned it was going to be in people's psyche to pay attention to cobalt blue. And on this one lady was doing a channeling. I think she might have been channeling the Arcturians, actually. And she said that people are going to start wearing cobalt blue in their clothing, and then when you go out, if you notice it, you're going to start seeing it everywhere. And I'm thinking, you mean blue jeans? Because that's pretty common. But I did myself. I wore turquoise and blue and green today. I bought these crazy pants in Lima, Peru for $6. The hippie pants that have all the pockets and they're striped. And they're turquoise blue and emerald green. I like them. They're really strange, though. I mean, people don't dress like this normally, and not in Ecuador usually. Even though these are very common all over Peru, everybody has these pants. And you can buy them here. People do make them here. They're, the natives make these pants and sell them to the tourists. But they're super comfortable and they're really baggy. And I think that's why people don't wear them. They like to show off their body, which it's super tight clothing is super unhealthy, and people just haven't gotten the memo on that one yet. But I don't like to always wear the tight jeans. It gives me a weird feeling. I just don't like it. I feel like it sends a signal that shouldn't be sent. We're not baboons showing our butts to each other in a field. You know what I mean? We should be a bit beyond that. posing and prostrating. Is that the right word? I don't know. It's just weird. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wear these today. They're more comfortable, and, you know, I won't have the mashers looking at my gams. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I can't believe I couldn't find that list from that person. And then in the afternoon, he had this other list that was really insightful, but it's his own personal insights for life. And I'm like, well, okay, that might be helpful and wonderful and everything, but I'm not going to read that on the air. I really wanted to get to the Ascension symptoms because, as you guys know, I tend to go over Ascension symptoms every day, but it's usually my own insights or what other people are telling me directly, or it's basically, you know, I'll go listen to 5 or 6 or 10 videos and kind of get an overall gist of what's happening. But his list was like super comprehensive. And I thought, well, you know, I could do that too. So God's like, you know what, just screw it. You already spent too much time, like over an hour, looking for something that he might have taken down, or maybe YouTube took down. I don't know. It was weird. So I asked God, all right, well, why don't you tell me what us as a collective whole, those of us who are ascending and aware, what is it that we are going through? Because today, you guys, holy crap, I was so tired. I mean, over a month ago, like a month and a half ago or something, I had made, well, actually 2 months ago, I'd made an appointment for my kid to go see the dentist. And so 6 weeks ago, I wasn't feeling good. And he was just like, dude, I think I'm sick. It's over. You know, I'm not going anywhere. And so we didn't go. I barely remember the phone call. They had rescheduled for today, and I had no idea. I didn't write it down. I don't think I got an email. I just was like, whatever. I don't know what's going on. And I went back to bed, and I just totally spaced out. So 11 o'clock this morning, the secretary for the dentist calls, and she said, just want to make sure that you've remembered your appointment, and are you going to be here? And I was like, what? I totally forgot about that. I'm like, so glad you called. So we went. I took my kid to the dentist, and I fell asleep. I put my sunglasses all over my eyes. And the whole time he was during his appointment, I don't know if it was 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours. I have no idea. I think it was like an hour. He was in the other room, and I fell asleep completely. Sitting up, I don't even know. I might have even snored. I don't even know. I just know that I dozed off, and it was like all I could do to keep my eyes open in the taxi ride there. The taxi ride home, I really need coffee. I have no coffee for tomorrow. And I had no energy just to go get coffee, which was another 10-minute drive from the dentist downtown. But I felt like I couldn't do it. I could not make it. It was just too much. The energy, even right now as I'm talking, I feel the energy flowing, and I feel like we're getting these waves and these pulsating waves of light again and again and again and again, and completely bombarding us. I asked my higher guidance, and they told me 99 again today on the Ascension symptom scale. So, and what's weird about this is when I look at the disclosure.it website for Schumann resonance, this is what they say. Little to report today. We had 4 hours of very light activity from 9 to 13 UTC, with this maximum peak reaching 15 hertz a few minutes after 9 UTC. 15? I mean, the way I feel like it should be 150. I mean, I don't know. Are you guys like super tired? I was telepathing with my twin flame today. As soon as I got home, like the minute I got home from that appointment, we went there and came back, and that was it. And the minute I got home, I mean, I bought some stuff at the store next door and then came up the stairs, but I literally just fell face first onto my bed, and I didn't move for like 30 minutes. I couldn't even move. I was so overwhelmed by the energy that I was being bombarded with. I was like, oh my God. And I mean, is it just that suddenly I'm so out of shape I can't handle an hour anywhere outside of my home anymore? Is it just that? I mean, this is so strange. Like when I was in Quito, even 1,000 feet more above sea level, I was still able to walk around, and I had energy, and I'm like, what is wrong with me today? And I realized it's just got to be Ascension symptoms. There's no way it's not. I mean, the last 2 days, I've been overloading my body with food. I was so hungry, like ravenous, like I'm going to die if I don't eat just a ton of food. And I'm not normally like that. I barely eat. I eat like one meal a day and a couple little, like I'll have a piece of bread or something. Like I hardly ever eat, and I always have tons and tons and tons of energy. And all of a sudden for 2 days, I mean, I ordered food from 2 days ago. I had pasta with chicken and marvelous, huge amount of red sauce, chicken parmesan, and I had the garlic knots with it, and it was like incredible. And last night it was full on Indian food, like buttered chicken and naan, and we ordered extra naan. I didn't eat rice with it. I didn't want rice, but I was full. And gulab jamun, oh my God, that's so excellent. But that was it. Those are like my 2 meals. Those are like my death row meals. I don't know which one I'd pick. I don't know if I was on death row, what would my meal be? I don't know. It's a toss-up. Maybe it would be Italian though, chicken parmesan. But the gulab jamun, I don't know. It's a toss-up. But maybe I could have both, But yeah, I don't know. It's so insane. Like today, I didn't even want to eat. I had a croissant. And I'm still full. That's it. Just one croissant and my hot Jello tea. And that's it. I had coffee. I could barely finish my normal allotment of coffee. It was just like I couldn't. My body's just like, no, not today. So crazy. So I don't know. I want to give you guys, let's go over the lesson 20 in A Course in Miracles. Lesson 20 is, I am determined to see. I am determined to see. That's it. That's literally all it is. You have to go actually do the lesson and see what it's about. But basically, the idea is if you're determined to see what you're not projecting out there, but what's actually there. See things for how they are, not for how your mind creates falsities, and it's almost like your mind is creating a malleable plastic world, shaping it and molding it in your own image of what you believe it should be, and that's not always what reality is. I've noticed in my life, I've done that quite a bit. Like there's been so many times in which I thought a situation was one way, for sure, it's this way. And then to find out it's not like that at all. Usually it's surrounding romance or relationships or even friendships where I love the other person so much and I just feel like I want so badly to always have that person in my life, whether it's a friend or, even family members that I grew close to for a time, or people I had crushes on, or people I was actually in a relationship with. And then one day for them just to say, it's too bad we're not all that close. Or I wish we were closer. And it's like, what? I feel super close to you. Like, I don't understand. And I think that maybe they're their role is malleable too, but in the opposite direction. And it's happened to me a lot. And I think it's just that I'm noticing that everybody creates the world and reality that they want. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was thinking about my relationship with my husband, and when it started to just so rapidly break down out of nowhere. How it just came out of nowhere. Like, we were holding hands and watching TV and so in love and kissing, like smooching at every moment, like we just met last week, even after 11 years. It was for me, at least from my perspective, it was a perfect relationship. So romantic, so much understanding. We could sit for long silences and not say a word, and we knew what the other one was thinking. Well, at least that's what I thought, apparently. It's not how it was for him at all. I mean, when he broke up with me, it was just a shock. I was like, wow, I'm so in love with you. And I felt like he didn't even know me at all. He didn't even love me at all. But I mean, I did hop a timeline, and the guy I remember did love me. And then I told you guys about that in one of my timeline episodes. I hopped a timeline to a guy who just had brain cancer and was very mean and very cruel and had no connection to me whatsoever. He was a narcissist, the second dude, not the guy that I married. The guy I married was a wonderful person. So I don't know what happened. The whole thing, it still freaks me out. But at the end of it, he was just like, I don't love you anymore. I don't know. Yeah, he kind of hinted that he never did. And he's like, I don't love you, and I don't really have a connection to you, and I don't really know who you are anymore, type of thing. And I just was like, wow. And he says, I've been unhappy for years and years and years with you. I'm like, that's weird. Because like 2 months ago, we were holding hands and kissing like we just met. And he's like, I don't remember that. And he's like, I don't remember a single meal you ever made for me. And I'm like, what? So weird. I mean, what about every year on our anniversary, how I spent 3 days making Greek food to recreate the first meal we ever ate together? I literally learned how to make Greek food because that was the first meal we had. He's like, you've never done that for me. I'm like, not only have I done that for you, I have pictures to prove it. And I showed him pictures, and he's like, oh, I don't remember that. I'm like, what about all the times that your relatives came up and I made a lasagna? And again, it was like 3 days worth of all the ingredients were marinating, and each layer had a distinct separate flavor. You know, like it's like I've like busted my balls for so many massive like meals, and especially when they were important for anniversaries and for and his perception was that I never cooked ever. And then when I asked my kids about it, their perspective is that we only ever made TV dinners, like every night with the TV dinners. They couldn't believe that's all we made. We didn't care enough about them to make food from scratch. And I'm like, I literally fed you guys TV dinners one night to show you that that's how I grew up, eating TV dinners all the time. But I never, ever, ever did this more than one time. And their perspective is that we did every single night. I'm like, what about all the times I made you guys turkey burgers or Panamanian food? And they're like, no, I don't remember any of that. I'm like, okay. And so I made Panamanian food for them again. And they were like, which is like black beans that are spicy and sweet at the same time. They're so good. And with sweet potatoes and a fried egg. And they were like, huh, this is really good. Where'd you learn how to make it? I'm like, I've been making this meal for you your whole life, once a week. And then once a week we made you spaghetti. Oh yeah, we remember the spaghetti. That's the only time Dad cooked, you never made that. I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Dad and I would make it together, but so weird. It's like the perceptions of people are so jumbled up compared to what you believe and think. So when you say, I am determined to see, you need to see the real reality, not somebody else's version of it or your own. Like, remember the Mikado, like, if you've ever seen the Mikado play or read the story, everyone has a completely and totally different perception than you. I mean, my marriage, I was happy, really, truly content and happy. My mother would call me and she'd say, I am so glad you found the love of your life and you are so happy. I've never, ever heard that level of contentment, peace, and happiness in your voice. Ever, your whole life until now. This is like right before we broke up. I mean, before I knew it was coming. And it was true. I was absolutely happy. But I made my conscious effort decision every day to be happy and to love. And apparently, every day he made a conscious effort to pick me apart and pick apart the relationship and pick apart all the things that are wrong with it. And so for him, it was a big disaster and a big failure. And he didn't want anything to do with any of it anymore. Except the kids. He wanted the kids. But then when he died, he didn't leave a will, and we lost our house because of that. So it makes me question everything. How could one person have one completely, totally different, was I wearing rose-colored glasses? Maybe. I was in love with the idea of being in love. Maybe. I don't know. It's freaking weird, isn't it? It's really, really, really weird. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna take a quick break. When I come right back, I'm going to tell you what the Ascension symptoms are from basically the prime creator of the universe. He gave me this list right before I started recording, and it's pretty good stuff. I mean, it's gonna be, it'll make a lot of sense for you. Hopefully you'll relate to this stuff. All right, guys, I'll be right back. If you're listening to this, you obviously like podcasts, and you probably like music too. Long walks on the beach, romantic dancing under the stars, and oh wait, we're not doing that right now. On Spotify, you can listen to all of that in one place for free, and you don't even need a premium account, which is cool. Free is always good. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. Download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, including your long romantic walks on the beach. Also, one thing I love about Spotify is that you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends via Spotify's integrations with the social platforms like Instagram. So that makes it really, really versatile. Just search for Metaphysical Soul Speak on the Spotify app or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. And follow me, of course, don't forget, so that you'll never again miss an episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak. Spotify is the world's leading music streaming service, and now it can be your go-to for podcasts too. Thank you guys so much for supporting Metaphysical Soul Speak on Spotify. All right, guys, so let's jump right in. I have a list of 12, and some of these are more than one part. So the first Ascension symptom is the extreme exhaustion, extreme need to sleep, where you need the highest quality water available and a lot of rest. And you might have, over the past few days, like I did, feel the need to have a lot more food. And then all of a sudden, absolutely very little need for food. And that's okay. It's normal. I mean, I keep thinking it's because I got snake medicine in the jungle. When the anaconda looked me in the eye and he came right at me, I feel like something happened to me then where it's like now ever since that day, I'll like eat normal and then I'll just won't eat for a day or two and then I'll eat normal. And then it's like a snake would eat every 2 or 3 days or once a week. I don't eat once a week, but weird, right? I don't. So I always thought that was just me. It's the snake medicine I got from the snake. That's cool. It means I could go for a couple days without eating now. So weird. I don't know. But I don't know. But I feel like now for everybody, for the whole collective, not just my insane habits or lack thereof, that a deep, extreme need to sleep plus a less need for food. I mean, our bodies are going through these massive transformations right now, and it's pretty intense. You know, we're changing to a crystalline form, and our DNA is busy doing what it's going to do. It's natural, but this is, our quote-unquote junk DNA that was not hooked up is all getting hooked up, and it's all changing each individual cell. But the cells know what to do, and it's doing it. And it doesn't mean that we're going to turn into a hunk of crystal or that we're going to be see-through, not like those glass fish where you can see through their bodies and see their internal organs working. It's so freaky. No, that's not going to be what happens to us. So don't panic about that. Don't think for a second that's what's going to happen. But it's just that our basic structure is changing so that we can attune to a higher frequency of light and energy, and that we can live in the fifth dimension fully anchored in. And life's going to be easier overall. So, okay, number 2 on the list is the nature of our relationships are changing. There's going to be less overall communication verbally out loud, and basically with words, less communication with words. But there seems to be a deeper understanding is starting to come online, if that makes any sense. Like if you're in a family situation and you're living with people that wake up and argue. Yay, time for the morning argument again. That's stopping. It's like the argument will happen, but the life and the energy and the fire and passion behind the argument that's always existed before, that fire's just kind of gone out. So it's instead of like, why don't you never, it's more like, you don't ever really, it's like there's no passion to it. It seems like there's that waning of kind of, normally I would argue today with you about why you're not perfect. But, it's like the argument's still there, but it's not as forceful. It's not as heavy. There's like no fire behind the negativity anymore. And people are starting to feel a deeper understanding of one another that, maybe they're not perfect because nobody is, and maybe they are trying their best, and maybe I'm also not perfect. Maybe I'm hard to live with as well. You know what I mean? Like there's those kinds of energies behind just the nature of people's relationships, whether it's your neighbor or your romantic partner, your family members, your parents, cousins, whatever. No matter what relationships it is, it's like there's like less communication verbally and more communication on higher levels of understanding. The third ascension symptom is that people are going to start, if they haven't already, working out past grudges and old gripes. This will pass. You gotta allow people their space, and people have to understand that they are also, going through ascension too. You got to understand everyone's going through ascension, not just you. It's not like you're living through the ascension symptoms and nobody else is. It's not like, other people are probably feeling tired too. And we got to just give everyone space and grace, not just us. But people are going to have like a little bit more anger or, the working out the past grudges and old gripes. Like, remember 20 years ago when you didn't do what you said you're going to do? Those kind of things. Or, I don't like that over the past, 10 years you haven't done X, Y, and Z. Even though today might be the day you're actually doing X, Y, and Z, and you're making up for the things that you didn't do before. And you're actually consciously aware of stuff now that you weren't aware of in the past. What if so-and-so was supposed to take the trash out? We'll say Teddy was supposed to take out the trash every day, and he didn't do it for all those years, and I had to do all my work plus take out the trash and do his trash for him. But now Teddy starts to take out the trash, and I go, hey, Teddy, how come you haven't taken out the trash for the last 10 years? And he's like standing with the trash in his hands, getting ready to take it out. And he's like, well, I'm consciously aware of it now, and I'm starting to take it out every day. This past week I've done it every day. This past week I've actually done the right thing. I've been socially and spiritually responsible. I've actually been aware. And you're like, yeah, but 10 years ago you didn't do it. 5 years ago you didn't do it. Last month you didn't do it. And he's like, but I'm doing it right now. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. It was like, this is like the past grudges and old gripes. It's like, even if someone is making up for things that they didn't do, or things that they did do that were wrong, and everything's being made up for now because people's energy and their ability to see things in a much different light, because we have so much more light now, we're able to see things better. Even though we're fixing ourselves, the old grudges and gripes and yuck from the people around us are still, it's like still coming out. It's like being purged in the collective right now. So 4 on the list is there is increased telepathy, and telepathic communication is increasing, which makes sense why we're communicating less with words. We are starting to learn how to telepath. Might be starting like right when you fall asleep at night, or when you wake up in the morning, or even in your dreams. You might be doing it not aware that you're doing it, until all of a sudden one day you go, wait a minute, I've been having a conversation and I'm the only one in the room, and yet the conversation was not with myself. We're going to start communicating telepathically with other beings, other life forms, and with each other, with our twin flames, with people, friends and family, also with people we don't know. Remember the other day I told you guys I did the Kia Shah, and a couple hours later I started having a conversation with a guy named Jeff, and I realized I'm connected now to the star grid, which was completely crazy. It's like, wow. He's all, hey, this is so trippy, right? This is so wild. I'm all, yeah. I'm all, what's your name? He's all, Jeff. I'm all, nice to meet you, Jeff. I'm Elena, It was like so weird. And I had this conversation with them for like 5 minutes before I realized I was actually having a conversation telepathically with somebody. who was a stranger, but we were having a pretty good conversation, just normal, but no one was in the room. I was all by myself. So, we're going to also be able to communicate telepathically with animals and, again, our twin flame. And that also means if your twin flame is not incarnate in a body, that does include, communicating with your twin who is still in the other realm and who hasn't been incarnate, is in heaven. So if you are not an incarnate twin, everyone has a twin, but not all the twins are here on the planet. A lot of times our counterparts are still our divine feminine or our divine masculine counterpart is disincarnate still. They're kind of a guardian angel or an extra spirit guide for us. For a lot of us, most of us actually. I know for a fact my twin is alive and he's here in a body. I still haven't met him. But boy, when I connect with him, and you can only connect with them through your heart. If you're feeling frustrated or angry or sad or mad or anything that's really negative or low vibration, it's very hard to telepath. So as you start to clear out all these old grudges and gripes and everything starts to come online as a deeper understanding of the web of life, we're going to be having more communication with our twins and also with your people, your soul groups, your spirit groups, your spiritual team, your higher self, your spirit guide, your holy guardian angel, the archangels, if you communicate with them, and Prime Creator himself, the number one God, and then the other gods that he created to create the worlds. Those are lesser gods, but I don't mean like the Greek gods. I think a lot of times the Greek gods might have been created by the secondary gods. It gets so intense, or they might have just been spiritual, high vibrational spiritual masters or spiritual manifestors. That's a word that's coming through now. It's strange. I never heard that before, but that's going to mean something to someone out there, one of you guys. Number 5 on the list is of the Ascension, the new Ascension, current Ascension list. Methods of resistance are still happening in your body. So having the heat flashes, remember how Master Jareel did talk about that, and he said that when you have resistance on a line, that's when the lines start to feel hot because the energy is not flowing through a wire. Same thing with our bodies. Our bodies are electromagnetic. We're not just made up of water. We're also made up of electricity and magnetism. And you can make your body more magnetic, with your Kundalini energy raised. I'm getting a visual of how magnetism is created on the planet with the flow of lava. But the magnetosphere is somehow different from that. It's separated out. All right, I just started to feel like the flow of lava and the flow of our Kundalini, it's somehow connected, but at the same time, they're separate processes because everything grows and fixes itself and increases itself at different rates. But that was weird. I just got that intense visual. I know it was directly from God. Yeah, I keep doing muscle testing. Yes, okay. I don't know what that was about. All right. But our methods of resistance are still happening. Hot flashes, headaches sometimes can be when you're resisting what you should be taking in. Heartache, physical, like palpitations or pain. Tinnitus is another method of resistance. It's also a way to increase your vibration. And if you're not actively accepting the increase in knowledge and vibration and spiritual information, these methods of resistance will continue to happen. So when they happen and you want to be open to it, you have to say out loud or to yourself or to God or your higher self or your spirit guide, say, look, I am willing. I'm willing to accept this energy right now. I'm willing to take it all in and learn from it, grow from it. I am willing to mature spiritually from it. And I find that when I do this, within 5 to 10 minutes, the methods of resistance are quickly alleviated. So the tinnitus goes down a little bit, the heat, hot flashes, the headaches. Hot head, I've been getting a lot of hot head, like a fever. It feels like a fever, like out of nowhere, and it lasts for like an hour or something. Throat swelling, ear swelling, sinus swelling, a lot of pressure in the head and neck area. I think these are all things of, these are all methods of resistance. Methods are, our subconscious mind is like, no, we don't want change. We know what we know. That's all we want to know. We don't need to know anymore. But we kind of do need to learn more and know more. So another thing that, number 6 on the list, another thing that we are going through Ascension symptoms wise is pain in our bones. Our bones and our joints, but like literally pain all the way down to the bone where we're just, it's really hard to deal with. Intense pain in the hips. I've had it in my spine and hips, even in my legs. Bones that don't normally hurt have hurt and ached. And you know how it feels like when you're getting ready to be really sick with the flu, like a really nasty flu, and your whole body just aches, like your muscles are sore, like you've been at the gym for hours, even though you weren't, and then you have to go to bed and you just feel so bad, like, and there's nothing that fixes the pain. That's the kind of pain that I'm talking about. It's so much that it's deep in your bones. This is, and sometimes it causes headaches. And so sometimes headaches are methods of resistance, and sometimes the headaches are actual DNA changes directly. And so again, make sure you get plenty of rest, high quality water, and follow your body's craving for food or lack thereof. If you feel like you don't want to eat, don't feel like you have to force yourself. But also, if you feel like you're craving like a huge meal, like carbo loading, you might be in for a really big sleep, and you might need to carbo load in order to get whatever it is that you need. I've been told by my higher guidance it's okay when, unless you're having a problem with yeast or like a fungal infection, it's okay when your body just needs like fat and sweets, because your body is utilizing all of that at this time. Don't just, have 5 bags of lollipops in a day, but if you feel the need to eat a donut and you haven't had a donut in years, or, if you have a problem with overeating, or you're a member of Overeaters Anonymous, this information isn't for you, because it might be an addiction coming back to clear out. But if you just every now and again, I feel the need, like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna die if I don't eat like 3 chocolate donuts right now, and then I won't want it for another 2 or 3 weeks. Like a couple weeks ago, I had chocolate donuts every day for like 2 or 3 days, and now I'm like, I don't care, I'm fine. Although now I'm like, chocolate donuts. It's like Homer Simpson. Ooh, donuts. So if you just feel that, that intense, like I've been feeling the need to have more meat in my diet, lamb chops, steak, and the fattier the better. I mean, that the fat in the meat is making, it's like when I eat that, I feel immediately better. I feel immediate relief wash over me. I've noticed, at least for me, when I eat vegetables, I just kind of feel empty and tired. It's because I have the adrenal body type. So if I eat meat and the vegetables together, I feel a lot better. But if you're vegetarian, you might be craving a specific, you might be craving bread, you might be craving cheese, you might be craving, like, maybe I need eggs with butter. Whatever your craving is, you might need extra fat for your brain right now. So make sure that you, within reason, give your body what it needs. I mean, if you're feeling a need for, like, chewing Bubblicious bubblegum every single day for the next week, that might not be what you need. Try to start with natural sugars, honey, fruit. If you feel the need to have sugar, brown sugar has more minerals. Raw sugar. Try to start with the more natural versions of whatever it is you're craving first. So the seventh thing on the Ascension symptoms list is emotionally feeling like you're overloaded, you're overwhelmed, complete overwhelm. Also, feelings of anger and frustration as those old grudges and gripes come to pass and pass out of your body and your system entirely. And feeling just a lot of frustration as far as the event. We've been experiencing the event is coming. Oh, next week is the event. Like, no, the event is not coming. It's not one frickin' day and then it's over. You guys, we have been going through this for years. I think since 2012. I think that's when it all activated in most people. I mean, my Kundalini has been raised for almost 20 years. But I'm still going through the Ascension symptoms. It's different, than that. But that was a part of it. Some people haven't raised their Kundalini yet. Everybody grows at a different rate. Everything goes as according to plan, and everyone's body is different. Everyone's level of understanding and spiritual growth are different. Some babies feed themselves super, super quick. Some don't feed themselves for 6 months after the norm. Some babies walk at 7 months, and some babies wait till they're 18 months old to walk. Everything is normal. Everybody has a different pace for everything. Some kids want to learn how to read before they're 1. They start looking at letters. They're super interested in that. Some kids don't care till they're 6 or 7 to learn. It's everybody has a different rate and a pace. And it doesn't mean that one person's better or smarter than another or more spiritually advanced. So I hope that you guys have let go of all that. I have a feeling that overall in the collective, people have let go of, ooh, are you more spiritually advanced than me? Or or I feel bad because I'm less spiritually advanced than you, or or I'm better than you because I know this information and you're not, you know what I mean? Like that kind of crap. Because I feel like we all truly hold 100% of the information inside of us. The kingdom of heaven is within you. We've been going through this for a long, long time. The feelings of overwhelm and overload, it's bound to take place, especially now when we're super tired. Like, we just want to get on with our lives already. Can we just, fix it and move on? Can't we just fix it and move on? I feel like that's the energy of what's going on in the collective. This is what God told me directly, but I feel it in myself. And I've read it in comments from other people. Like, one person said, I want it to be over so I could just get on with my life already. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to begrudgingly going to work, Like, even Aluna Ash was mentioning in one of her transmissions today that A lot of people just feel the need for relationships to break up so that other relationships can come together in the twin flame community, as well as throughout all of humanity. People are like questioning, do I really want a relationship? Do I really want the one I've got? A lot of people are going through that. And she said it's also the same thing in the workforce energy. Like, people are begrudgingly going to work, getting angry and frustrated that they have to go to a job that they hate, that they're making life for somebody else great while their life is just drudgery. Not grudgery, it's not a word. It is now. Drudgery, like that work of, the day in and day out, cranking out the factory parts or whatever type of energy. And I thought that was interesting, because what I got from God was that we're feeling overloaded, overwhelmed, and angry and frustrated with the way that things are right now. And even if you are in this moment, totally fine. If these feelings start to come up, just realize it's a part of all of it. It's part of the process. When you're learning how to walk as a baby, it's frustrating. You're going to be angry when you can't do it. Your mind figures it out and your body won't follow yet. It's how it happens. Things happen, like this. So we wanted to be all over already. The overwhelm, the overload. For me, it's like this tiredness. It's like, dude, I want to be able to get my you-know-what together and just go and buy all of the things I need to have a perfect, healthy diet that's super balanced, so I can have super amounts of energy, and I can work out in a way that's going to be right for my body, get back into shape, get younger and younger again. Because I feel that all this is happening. I feel it's all going to happen. And I could just get back to my 29-year-old self again completely, and that I could wake up on time, and I could just get to my computer and pound out on my keyboard my books, my screenplays, my the TV show pilot that I want to write for our local television station. In fact, I've been talking to the guy again yesterday about all the people that I've met and all the people he's met, and I'm going to meet with him and eventually with his people. He is meeting with the mayor of the city, and I'm getting ready to go talk to the second in line to the mayor, who might also be very, forthcoming as far as helping the gringos get our television station here. This could be a golden opportunity for a lot of the gringos, and it will help the other gringos. But he was saying, well, people here need to know how important English is. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I need to step in to that part of it a little bit maybe and say, to the mayor, look, what we're going to do is we're going to have a television station in English, and we're going to do our best to get captions in Spanish so that local Ecuadorians can learn English if they want, but also the gringos that are watching the show will have the words in Spanish so that they can learn Spanish. Because you can't just come to a foreign country and say they need to learn my language. It's like, I don't think so. You need to learn this language. I mean, the number one language spoken around the world is Mandarin Chinese. The number 2 language spoken around the world is Spanish. The number 3, third language is English, followed by French. So, I mean, those kinds of feelings of frustration and anger, maybe that's normal, but I don't know. I feel like there's big, massive changes taking place. They're going to be taking place not only here in Ecuador, but I mean all over the world. And I mean, I donated money to help the children at the border actually eat. They don't have enough food to keep these people at the border. They have no right to keep them, and they're doing it anyway. They're talking, I think he's a senator, Joe Kennedy, is talking about actually starting the impeachment process of the president of the United States right now. I feel the massive changes. I mean, a revolution is coming. I can feel it in the air. I feel it. We could almost smell it, right? We could almost taste it and touch it. It's like so close. We need a revolution, not just the spiritual revolution we're going through, but the social change revolution. But a lot of that is outward stuff. It's also going to help us to feel anger and frustration, and it's overwhelming, some of the atrocities that's going on in the world. So when you get to the point where those are starting to really affect you, turn off the news. Don't pay attention to it. Just keep focused on everybody going to where they need to be spiritually. Donate the money if you've got it. I only donated $15. If I was a billionaire, it would have been $15 million. If I was a millionaire, it would have been $150,000 I would have donated to help the kids at the border. The men are in cages, packed so tight that they can't lay down to sleep at nighttime. There's toddlers that don't have diapers, and they don't have money to buy diapers for the toddlers. And grade school children taking care of infants that aren't even infants they've ever seen before. These are the kinds of things at the border going on. Elizabeth Warren took as much video of it as she could and reported it. I think I mentioned it yesterday on the show. It's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. If you guys are overwhelmed by it, again, shut off the news. CNN stands for constantly negative news. If you haven't done it already, stop focusing on any of it, all of it. Send them money if you can. Pay them money if you can. The Sierra Club has been taking money and rerouting it to the organizations that are called Act Blue, I guess. And they're actually giving the money directly. So sign the petitions, make the phone calls, write the angry letters, and let it go immediately afterwards. Give the money, do what you can. I mean, don't give up your sense of social responsibility and civic duty. But also don't focus on it and stew in it. I got a little bit angry today. If you go to my Twitter, I wrote some pretty damning angry tweets directly to Donald Trump, at the real Donald Trump. I literally wrote, I just told him he has like no empathy for others. And then I wrote to Joe Kennedy, like, we need to get this guy out of here. The United Nations needs to step in, and he should be arrested and impeached. I felt the same way about W. I actually wrote a letter to the United Nations, and I actually posted it on my website. Back in GeoCities world, remember when GeoCities was a thing? You know, this stuff is overwhelming, and your heart is growing, and your ideas and your spirituality is growing, and you're becoming more empathic. If you're already empathic, it's going to be more so. And so you have to take a step back and realize that you should be determined to see the world that is real. Some of the stuff isn't real. I mean, it's really happening to the people it's happening to, but a lot of times people come here to show a problem. Racism has been in the forefront quite a bit in the past few years. It's something that needed to come out to the surface so we can release, relax, and let it go. It's something that we can see as a problem socially and fix it now. We'll have the tools soon to fix all of it. It's not right. That's why I said sign the petitions, do what you need to, but then stop focusing on it. Turn back inward. Focus on your inner God, who you are, who you truly are. Focus on your soul. Work on your telepathy. Kia Sha. Don't forget your Kia Sha. You know, you touch your forehead and you say 3 times, Kia Sha. Ki ah sha. Ki ah sha. And your third eye starts to pulsate, and it's really freaky. Hooks you up to the star grid, and it puts you in touch with who you truly are from a higher self perspective. Number 8 on the list. We are going to, if we haven't already started to, we are going to start to feel very ambiguous towards all of the former religions that we were interested in learning about or were a part of and participated in directly. Instead of feeling anything, like people who are awakening and were Christian might not feel a need to participate, or they might feel kind of ambiguous towards the judgmental-ish attitudes towards other people. I think that people are becoming a little bit enlightened. They're lightening up. Thank God, So if you were part of a religion that was very judgmental of gay people, or, there are some religions, some particular churches that I don't want to mention their name, but are very anti-black, which is insane, God created black people. Why would you be against black people? God created all the people he created. Why would you be against anybody? It's not up to you to judge anybody. It's not up to you to judge even yourself. Judge not lest you be judged. Remember that one? That old adage. But any religion that, if you're waking up and you're in a religion, you might start to feel ambiguous towards that religion. I always kind of felt like the Dalai Lama was kind of enlightened, and he said something today that was so sexist that I was all, now we know. He said that there could never be a female Dalai Lama because she would have to be so pretty that the men would want to pay attention to her. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I said that. I said it out loud, and right now I see in the future, the immediate future, I just felt some of you that have been in contact with me, I felt your anger, and you're not even aware while I'm recording this that I said it, but I felt it. That was weird. Oh God. So I don't know. Now I feel ambiguous to Tibetan Buddhism. I before kind of liked some of the ideas and philosophy of it, but now I feel completely ambiguous to it. I read that and I thought, if you didn't know, now you know. That's it. Didn't know, now you know. And yeah, now I feel kind of ambiguous. I didn't feel angry or hatred or upset or like, how dare you? And I feel like writing an angry letter. I just felt, well, there's a religion I could cross off my list of ever wanting to get to know now. Yeah, I realize its leader is sexist, and maybe there's sexist attitudes in it, and we're here trying to create a world in which we're all going to be loving each other and not judging each other and equal, and, we're going to be attracted to people based on their heart, the color that their soul shines. Whatever we're attracted to, that's where we need to be. Like, we're not going to be attracted to someone based on their skin color. We're going to be attracted to someone based on the color of their aura. Someone puts out blue, maybe they're a writer. You're a writer too, so you're going to go and be with the blue people, the blue aura people. Someone is a healer and you're a healer too, and that's where you're at today. You'll be attracted to the people that emit an emerald green aura. Because that's where you are today. You're a sports person. You love to play soccer and football. And, you want to look for athletic people who like to express their spirituality through their physical body. You're going to go be attracted to people with the red auras today. I have a feeling that's what's going to be. It's where it's going. It's where we're headed. I feel it. Number 9 on the list. Feeling the need to travel, like you're super restless, like travel restlessness. I gotta get out of here. It's time to go see the beach. Time to go see the jungle. Time to go see the mountains. It's time for me to blow this popsicle stand. But I want to go, and I need to go, and I need to go now. That's how you're going to feel. But your get up and go has got up and went. And you're not going to have the gumption to go anywhere. That will lead to further overwhelm and frustration, possibly. Or if you want to go and you've got the money to go, but you got to work. There's the rub. Or you got time off work and it's your vacation, but you didn't save enough money. Is another one. So God told me there's going to be a lot of feeling and need to travel. And I've been feeling it too, like so much. Like I want to go out there, I want to travel, I want to see the world. I mean, I've been thinking about San Francisco, I've been thinking about Detroit, I've been thinking about France and Spain and Italy, and I've been thinking about the coast. Just heading over for a weekend to the beach. And I'm thinking about the jungle, and today I saw a video on the jungle and all the beautiful snakes, the pythons are so beautiful. They're so colorful. And the birds, it's so colorful. I mean, again, at the dentist, I wake up from my nap and there's a snake video. All the snakes of Ecuador, apparently. I'm like, why is my life so snaky? It's so weird. But now that feeling of travel restlessness, like you just... Oh, God, you gain overwhelmed with the feelings of wanderlust. You just gotta go. You just gotta go. And that's part of the Ascension symptoms. Number 10 on the list is you're gonna start to feel ambiguous. You know, things that are... going on in the world, governments, and all the things that, God, I can't even read my writing here, looks like it's a government, world governments and world, all the world connections, like all the news and you're going to see it and you're going to go, all right. But you're going to feel ambiguous again. You're going to feel zero connection to it. All right, I see what needs to be done. We could do something about it. Like I said before, sign the petitions, give the money, write the letter, make the phone call, send the email, whatever it is that you need to do. And then you're over it. It's like, okay. I see it. It's, you're just ambiguous when it comes to the stuff in the world. Looks like I wrote working for the world, wonky for world. I don't know. I write so fast when I'm getting information from Spirit, and then I go back and I'm like, oh, I need an editor for my own writing. Anyway, number 11 on the list is... each new pulsating light that comes to us from the sun and the higher cosmos will be bringing us more clarity and more of the feelings that we can move on now. It's giving us a new hope. So the new energy coming out now, the new Ascension symptoms is... with every pulse or wave, light, packets of information that are being downloaded, with every DNA upgrade, we're feeling more hope, more clarity, more sense of being enlightened. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, the 12 on the list, and this is the final one, is that we're going to start to feel, if we haven't already the past few days, that we're really missing our relatives and friends, people that went on before us, the people that died, people who died, people that we really loved. And we're going to start to miss not only those people, but also our old lives. I miss living in my grandma's house when I was a kid. In the way that my grandma would make my dinner, my aunt would make my lunch for school. I was really little. My grandpa would make my breakfast, and everybody kind of did their part to make my life so safe and secure and so beautiful. Even down to cutting the individual pieces of the grapefruit my grandpa did for me. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he and I had a good relationship and he was a good man, but he was not a good man to other people in the family. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but again, it's like I'm determined to see the actual reality, the actual truth. I'm determined to see. It's the theme for today. Because other people in the family didn't have a good relationship with him at all. Other people couldn't wait to get away from him, and other people have had to have 20 years, 30 years of therapy because of him. Some of the horrible atrocities he committed. But as far as I was concerned, he made me cinnamon toast and he taught me how to make it. He told me to put the sugar on top of the cinnamon, otherwise I'm going to grow hair on my chest. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, look at me. And then he would pull his shirt down and show me his chest. And he shaved his chest so he never had hair on his chest. And I'm like, but you don't have hair on your chest. He goes, you see, it works. Cinnamon first, sugar later. That's how you make your toast. In other days, he would make me peanut butter and jelly toast. And I loved my moments with him. He was, at least to me, a good person. We're not always good people to every people, all the people in the world, But there's like moments that I miss, you know what I mean? Like there's moments that I miss. I miss petting his turtle, Rosie. She was called Rosie because she hung out in the flower bed. She came out of nowhere, just big tortoise. And then there was another tortoise that came along, a different species. And I always felt like he couldn't be all bad because he attracted these tortoises to him. We're not all bad people. Like even if we do bad things or have done bad things in our past, doesn't make us bad people. And there's no good and bad. There's just is what is. I think I mentioned you guys, like I spent one day of my life when I was in my 20s. I wanted to feel what it felt like to be a shoplifter. I had never done that in my life. Thou shalt not steal, I was terrified. And I meditated on it. I said, God, I want to know what it feels like to be a shoplifter. I want to know what's the appeal. What do people feel when they do this? Super curious about different things, and that was one of them. So I prayed about it, and God said, give yourself one day to do it. And after that, don't ever do it again. You're going to know. The initial rush, the excitement of it, and then the immediate guilt right after. And then the guilt that lasted for years, and then the karma that came when I got stolen from. But I didn't have enough money to buy bathing suits to go on a trip, and I stole from like 4 or 5 department stores in one afternoon. 4 or 5 different bathing suits. But I felt guilty, so I'd actually buy stuff from each place as well. So I actually did give them money, but not 100% of what I owed. I felt guilty. And what's funny is when my house was robbed, about a year later, those bathing suits were stolen. I don't even have one of them now. So it was ironic. But I felt what it felt like, and I knew what it felt like, and it was a horrible thing that I did, and I recognize it now, but I'm not a bad person, and I'm not a thief, and I would never, and even now I don't go out of my way to steal. I don't. Although I have, in Peru, I did take a spoon from a restaurant. I liked this little tiny spoon. I wanted it, so I left them a $2 more. I left them a $2 tip plus $2 for the spoon, which only cost 20 cents. So I kind of stole it, but I didn't. I paid for it. I paid for 10 new spoons. But I'm not even ashamed to admit it. I literally have no connection to it anymore. It's like that was me like 30 years ago for one day. That was me. And so it doesn't make me a bad person. I didn't continue. I didn't start a life of crime and start robbing people. Now I'm up to banks by now, you know what I mean? Or governments, I haven't robbed anybody. Believe you me, if I had started robbing banks, I'd live in a house that I owned versus an apartment that I rent. But I wanted to know the feeling of that, and I figured it out. It was very interesting. But let's see. So we're missing right now. This is the 12th one. I'm still on the 12th one, and the last one for the day, the Ascension symptoms. We are missing our old lives, pieces and parts, even if it's one day or one afternoon. Maybe we ate peaches on the beach and we missed that one day that happened. So the nostalgia, the feelings of nostalgia, the overwhelming feelings of what could have been, what should have been, what might have been, the loves that got away, the friendships that somehow we lost track of, even though in those moments, those friendships were so meaningful and special to us. We think that person is so precious, we're never going to lose touch. And then we did. What the hell happened there? How come we lost touch with that person? It wasn't really meant to be. And now we're all here in the precipice of ascension. But we're missing our blissfully ignorant lives that we used to have. Back when everything was safe and everything was secure and we did not know any of this spiritual crap. Back when the highlight of our day was fruit roll-ups. For my kids, it'd probably be fruit by the foot. Oh my God, remember that? The one time a month I would buy them Fruit Loops or Cocoa Pebbles, or, the rest of the month it was, sorry, we're having oatmeal. We're having Cheerios today, or we're having oatmeal. Oh, but we want the sugar cereal. Nope, it's not the second Saturday of the month, kids. And that was only when they were older. Man, I was the mom that would make the pictures of, I would make them whole pictures of Kool-Aid and not put the sugar in. And they'd be like, we don't really like Kool-Aid. I'm like, that's okay. And then we would go to other people's houses, or we would sometimes go to church. There's one church, it was like a non-denominational church. It's founded by somebody who studied self-realization fellowship. And we went like 2 or 3 times a year, like hardly ever. And my kids would be offered Kool-Aid. They go, no, we don't really like it. It's too sour for us. And then I'll never forget the one day my oldest came home from a birthday party, and she was like, Mom, I have a bone to pick with you. Because I just tasted Kool-Aid for the first time the way it's supposed to be made, with sugar. And you have not been reading the recipe right. You have been tricking us. You haven't been doing it right. And I'm like, sorry. I didn't want to give you guys all that sugar. It's too much in the recipe. I mean, sometimes, you guys, I would put stevia in it, and it tasted okay, but my kids are like, ew, we hate this stuff. Then they started actually getting it with the real sugar. They're like, oh, man, you tricked us. Like, for years, you tricked us. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I was just trying to make you guys healthy. You know, but I have like moments like that, you know, that were hilarious, and oh yeah, okay, I got caught. Try to make you guys healthy. But yeah, it's just the what could have been, what should have been, nostalgia. Are you guys feeling nostalgic? My ex used to call that being romantic for the past. You know, feeling like you're kind of wanting a little more of that, you know, back in the days of swing and big bands, way before I was born, 20 years before I was born. Sometimes I wish I could go back in time and just go to an old club and just dance, you know. So like those kind of feelings of nostalgia. Like the other day I played Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. I played a lot of his songs, actually. I love old jazz. I like a lot of. In fact, today I got a message from the band that played Fish Heads, the punk rock song Fish Heads, Roly Poly Fish Heads, eat them up, yum. I actually, they followed me on Twitter and wrote me directly, and so I had a conversation a little bit today with them. And they for the new Dr. Demento, there's a brand new album out. Dr. Demento is covered in punk. It's so gross. It's a punk rock album, and they did a brand new video for Fish Heads. It was a little song that just really doesn't mean much at all. It was written on a napkin in a Chinese restaurant one afternoon. And it's gained this crazy following. People love this song, and it's just one of those things that's always been a part of my life since I've been an adult almost. My girlfriend, Jenny, introduced me to that song, and then I saw a video on it the next day after she told me about it. I was like, I couldn't believe it. 3 a.m, here comes this video of Fish Heads. But there's a brand new video, and it's out. It's on the Dr. Demento channel on YouTube. I cannot believe it. Anyway, but yeah, there's nostalgia, weird crap like that. Like just, you know, maybe you're missing an old pair of shoes or a dog or cat that you used to have. You miss your best friend that used to give you the best hugs in college. No matter what your day was going. I had a couple friends like that. They hugged me so great. And I miss those people, and I don't even know where they are now. A lot of my friends from college I only knew, like my friend Ricky from Peru, from Lima. I spent 1.5 years in Lima looking for him. I can't remember his last name. Oh my God, it's impossible to find someone without a last name. I miss Ricky so much. He was one of my best friends, and he was literally the best. His name was Ricky, and he reminded me of Ricky Ricardo. He was handsome, and he just, I don't know. I know he's in Lima, but I can't find him. City of 10 million people. I don't know if there's that many people. It just felt like it, though. Anyway, I hope that these Ascension symptoms, I hope it's cleared up some information for you. If you've been going through these things, are you like, what is wrong with me? I have to go to the doctor. Maybe I need to go see a psychiatrist this week. Hopefully this cleared it up and you feel like maybe you don't have to go. Unless you're having a serious issue, then go. But maybe you're feeling like, oh well, good. It's just Ascension symptoms. Different stuff, you know, for different days, but same old in some ways, you know. Anyway, I love each and every one of you, and now that's all I gotta say about that. We're almost at the end, so I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.